either way, the operator bans have a huge impact on them.
VP fans are going to be hating that Clubhouse pick. They've really struggled on Clubhouse this stage.
2 and done. I think it might be.
Well, a 2 and done. In terms of, I'm just past 180 days. I'm throwing up a border statistic for you right now. So
it's Easthold where you reinforce up this single wall and you just try and hold East for all that you're worth. And they have brought in a bit of denial in terms of the util. That, of course, being the renew of the Rudy Gates. That 2 from that shot. Sky's still prone. He will get taken out before the trade is there on the joystick.
The shots don't quite fully connect with. Oh, there's the ping. There's always getting at least his one. They drop out, they rotated, and this is when the loss of the gridlock's going to be bad. Dan does get another, but 20 seconds, Demon, are 2 versus 1 now.
Yeah, Dan have to creep up in through 90 and just doesn't have the time on his side, nor does he have the diffuser, so he has to try and play for the kills. Frostmat will be in front of him. Knows that one's below, but not aware that the player is so close. Other end of it, just right beside Customs and that. It locks down Metal, of course, so it really does limit the rotates that Gen.G can do now. But VP just taking their time, working for the motions, and now they can start turning it up a notch and start moving their way in towards Armory and security and the likes. And speaking of security, there is still Azox inside Brazil right now, and I think Joystick knows he's there, but just doesn't want to go for it. It leaves up to Shepard, who dispatches with him very efficiently, and the last player also falls the fountain. I mean, that's just
through, but a very scrappy whiff there from Always. Needs some support sooner rather than later, and Joystick is there. Another call. We hear the C4 second away from being removed. Now, where does Skies go? Azox finds Dan, stops the entire push from collapsing on towards the front of them, and Always worried that there's going to be a rotate up metal.
Yeah, you can see that Gen.G just not entirely sure where these players are for VP, and VP, they know exactly where they are, because again, that Dokkaebi call comes in. Another missed kill though for VP, but Always just jumps in through metal to find one. Great.
But this is a map of risks, right? And at this point, they've still got to go for the plant. They've got the fight. I'm assuming the single wall has been breached. Joystick does trade out one, and Asta does get Always on the back end. It's a good little poppy utility to try and find the fight across Passport. But as the Blackbeard slips in, they'll be able to get this kit cemented. It's, ooh, maybe not. Joystick somehow gets caught from the long range, but there's a flank on a flank on a flank demo. Pasha gets the back end of the pincer. There's a fight with a Blackbeard, but they've already claimed it out.
Where you can flank up East, actually fight for East, and then also fall back down and don't have to worry about getting pinched from, you know, some angle maybe sat on the catwalk, for example.
They're waiting for a drift round. It's a solid sort of no man's land as they're trying to pass the divide, but Deadshot threads the needle, looks for a second, slips his way back into the fight. Actually, I thought he was going to try and maybe get around to the other side and trust that it was still soft and bordered, but 30 seconds. They're just moving their way in. Always! What is he doing, wow. Demo? Even Gen.G don't know. That is just more and more bodies piled ahead of them. Ban the player. Canisters to buy as much time as possible. But it's Pasha creeping their way in from underneath. The grenades will start to roll. They're hoping it will force him into that, but they didn't even need it. Joystick tears the head off in the middle of a smoke throw. It was a bold idea. Punished. And now that's none of that utility to be used later on. Always. Hi, my name is Always. Oh, we're playing border. I'll pick Dokkaebi and go in and try to kill people. Oh, looked away at the worst possible time, though. Almost had it once again.
No soft destruction. It will make things pretty difficult. But Gen.G are still attempting to hold on upstairs, and Joystick able to find a freebie as Deadshot pokes his head up by
well, there's not a lot to give them any real cover here, apart from, as you said, the watch of the hatches. They're quite wide, but Asa wins out, and there's the rotate above. Okay, at this point.
He just wallbanged him, by the way, blindly.
I hate when that happens. And that happens as well. Yep, job's done. Easy enough, sort of rounds back from a death moment here, because we go on towards what, Bank next. uh-oh. There's always that worry. Even though you picked it, you know it's not going to be easy. Pasha traded out. Zessa pushes back into Fountain, and Azox does find always. Although we're hot droning, 60 seconds left, and now it's, well, not even anymore, Demo.
Yeah, a lot of map controls now being taken up. Seems to be wanting to challenge him for the meantime, and they actually expose themselves to that DMR. And oh, takes so much damage, and still flex over towards Shepard, but he's quick enough to finish him off. And now Azox, I think they know where he is, in towards Armor. He got a kill from here previously, and yeah, easy enough for VP to clean it up. Just VP, all they need is that
grenade as well. It just forced them further and further back, and now I go back to that. Is a defensive powerhouse. They've played it 5 times over the past half a year, and they have a... I think it's sort of the pace of the game, right? There's the force on Shepard. He's immediately under every single inch of pressure. That was great. Super aggressive take. They had a... in a position now, probably just to fight out across office. He was lucky enough to be behind the desk, and oh, there's one close engagement. It's the swing round for the second, but Azox, he's happy to get a second of his own. 30 seconds, and here comes Dan. Dan, Dan. Dan, Dan. Dan, 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 Dan. Gets the Deimos.
Needs to run though. Needs to get out of there, because again, they'll know where he is. But in 15 seconds, I mean, Dan can't really do much. He's going to have to go up the staircase at some point, but that has just put a little bit of doubt into the Gen.G player. Oh, what a shot from MACKO! Ow, big fire!
I mean, at this point, yeah, we talk about position, we talk about the pressure, but you can't plan for 2 kills like that. Just blinding. The hipfire headshot onto one.
One of them has been able to scrape him, and in goes the second nade. I mean, I don't think it's going to be for killing Pasha, but it may also get him, which it does. A 2-for-1, the mute jammer, and also Pasha's body.
Well, he's found himself backed into a corner, but as they did before, Gen.G used that knowledge as a time to try and push on for the plant itself. There is a trade out. Always in skies find each other, and the drop, the rotate round the back. Joystick, a huge potential position here. Gets one. Concerned about the swing from the next, but the Blackbeard is the one that has to step in and offer some support. They are in a great read here again because they are above, and the Blackbeard with the cross means that they can play this as cautiously as they like. There's the play on the plant. The Kiba is thrown in above. They're safe to go for the defuse demo. There it is, Shepard. Time and time again, Shepard.
One thing is really common is smoke grenades being used early. Again, plants aren't really the main thing you look towards for border. It's all about these gunfights, and having that smoke to try and just stall them out is great. But Gen.G, though, they've been able to respond with a lot of kills. The Blackbeard put in a lot of work. But still, BP getting their kills back where they can. But still alive and very easily fall back to the safety of some of those hard walls. And always goes for a swing. Oh, Sky's a great trade from Deadshot, has to be said. That's the important kill.
Yeah, massive. You can see he tried to try and maybe drop the hatch as well, but it's the reveal there. On towards the pressure. 10 seconds though, and they need to double stack. Yeah, there's the drop on the hatch. There's now the cover. They can try and get the plant, but the player's down. Demo, it's all just down to one, and he's pushing for the 1 versus 1. Asa, he made the wrong call.
He's down. Asa knows he can't plant. He has to play for the kill, so all Dan had to do was kill one of them. But I just think the positioning there of EP are going to have to try and get aggro if they can, and that's a really good spot here from the Blitz, and you do expect that Dan will be a dead man any moment now. Actually turns away from the flash, but gets pushed right into that wall. An easy cleanup for Gen.G. I mean, we've seen that coming from a mile off. The push just wait. Now these impact DMPs need to be on point. See if they can try and grab this K-Claw, but I don't think the top's going to cause them a lot of issues. We know that, and instead of just trying to play around the top, they're going to try and kill him. Oh, what are you doing? Azox gets punished. Ad's got the wall open, no for him. Oh, but that somehow appears a 1. Almost catches the second, but Sky's about half HP. But look at the state of that wall. They can't get in through triple.
Yeah, the rip on the C4 because it's all on the BP, as you said. It's pinged out. They don't need to worry too much. Oh, unless NACO does something like that, revealed on the BP, and now they're going to go in, get aggressive, pre-fire the angle, pre-fire even further. Where was he going on holiday? I don't know. but it leaves us in the 1 versus 1, the new location. A great play there from the man who really saved out the round there. Towards the end of the round, as Border likes to go. And with all the information that they've got, they just cannot seem to get anything on the back of it, I say, as we get a perfect demonstration of what you can get on the back of it.
Oh, great pinch. I mean, Deadshot's been waiting for that kill for ages, it feels like, and Joystick finally goes down. So Gen.G, they just gonna take their time, but they do get their reward, and that is 2 free picks. Haven't lost anything. Now they have full upstairs control, and now it's just a simple move on down, start taking other points to the map, see if you can move in for the plant. Oh dear. Please drone him. Oh dear, oh dear. Say it ain't so.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it ain't so.
Uh-oh. Well,
there we go.
2 versus 4 as Shepard does find a kill on the back, but he is close enough to C4. No, gets caught out and then gets dropped out. Yep, didn't quite thread the needle. We go into another OT demo.
Here we go.
Hope for this, and then they otherwise just don't move. And it wasn't helped by the fact that you can see why Shepard was in that position, as always gets killed, because they threw the smoke canister out and it didn't land exactly where it needed to go. Sky's just in the site, mate. Just in, off on his jollies. Come on, guys, get the plant in. What are you doing? I'm in the site. Oh! And that is filthy. There's one. Tries to get the connection on the second, but very quickly surrounded. I mean,
the ever-looming threat that we know that VP like to play with. Asha downstairs seem to get value out of that DMR and try and shred on through the fluorine. Shot goes for the peak and gets punished for it.
Somebody on the CC side, MACKO. The Legion has it locked down, picks up, rotates, slips on by as it's all read out, and they're doing a lot to try and catch him, but they actually get his support. There goes Asa, top of metal stairs. And there goes Pasha into a frost mat. Used them as bait for just a second, sneaking their way up, but it's Azox that locks them out from underneath. Rotated his way up. Joystick gets the trade out on the kill. There's the reveal of the goo mine and always gets the pickup. My name is always. If I'm on attack on border, I will pick Dokkaebi and get a kill.
Well, again, we want to go, and they're doing the drone work to really put the pressure onto these VP players who, at the moment, again, are just fighting from behind.
Well, as Pasha finds Deadshot, suddenly it's leveled up, and Azox taking a lot of damage, is just offering pings. You can see NACO's coming around the back to maybe get a bit of a pinch, but it's Skies once again that finds another player. Always is gone. Pasha, those Selmas, so they have to cross. It's entirely pulled back here from Virtus.pro. They're waiting for them to cross the divide. It's a spray through. The health is pretty much weakened on everybody apart from Joystick. The one missing piece of the puzzle pops a double. And now waiting for the pull round. What seemed like Gen.G setting up for success has been blown aside for failure. There's one. There's a post plant and a blitz alone. Has a 1 versus 1, but not for very long. He's trying to be aware of it either side, but Virtus.pro demo, they do just enough because
Now we're in the low bracket. Both MACKO and Gen.G have upped their performance and upped their results in terms of the playoffs, but ultimately have just fallen short to clutches. It's almost a parallel that's happening at exactly the same time.
But then if you look at the scoreline and then you look at the stats, if you combine all the KD right now, Gen.G
the contention for those precious SI points. Otherwise, you'll find yourself with still in the potential to cause an upset. Obviously, the longer this... How surrounded are they? And is there going to be a bit of a heavy drop from the hatches? There is Pasha gone. Skies still on the tear of the previous map, but it was a quick blow to go now. And there's a break round on the back. Needs some support, or does he? Gets one, gets dropped. Deadshot swings round on towards always. 3 versus 4. They keep the man advantage. They're watching out for the window drop as well. And the Deimos reveal is going to be something that gets them out of there as Skies just keeps on kills back and forth. I mean, certainly we've seen that with the Fuse. The trade was able to come in immediately, but I think for VP, this is going to be such a difficult battle for them, and it will be. Oh, I thought Deadshot was going to finish off there and then, but still alive, and yeah, we'll get it on the reload. What a simple round for Gen.G. Left. You're kind of wondering if this is just going to be a throw it and we ball and hope. There's all this intel. There's a keen awareness on where they're setting themselves. There's some pressure coming up to the quad wall at this point, but you can't just shove your way in As Dan might actually try and make that work. There is Joystick getting a kill on the back. There's Deadshot getting the trade out. 10 seconds and they're just full sprinting in towards a hail of gunfire. Not enough time there.
No, will perfectly counter that operator. Shepard playing on those windows. What I mean about the top floor, it sees angles, and here comes Pasha.
Deploying code.
I think this is the moment. This was the exact clip, the exact positioning. Oh, come on. Nope, not the exact same result. Shepard does get a kill in the meantime, but otherwise hasn't netted a reward, but it is drawing attention because the Nook didn't die. Skies finds Joystick though. So suddenly the Nook has to keep on keeping on until Dan gets called out as well. Nook does finally find a kill, but it was back on the work of the team. It's not, but nothing is being sort of driven towards them here. They're very passive angles of the last two players.
There we go. In goes the smokes. That should have came out a lot earlier, but maybe just wait until Always gonna have a teammate with him, and somehow able to pick off Always, but still 2 people in. Yeah, weird. It helps them just lock down anyone looking to flank. It can hold down CEO pretty well also. It just gives them so much back.
But I don't know the maths of if it stops an already
Look at this.
tube. I mean, 15 seconds, and that's a horror show. Inside the site, they're trying to find a place to plant. They can't even cross without dying right now. There's a C4, perfectly shot. They're going for the replace, the shield on the back, the long cover with just a pistol, and they're gonna get it stuck. Shepard somehow finds it, the cover either side, a 3 versus 2. And they didn't have any other time, any other options. But a late deployed canister and fire canisters that were just kept at bay. They do get themselves into the 2 versus 2, but it's the last bit that's the nightmare. Just long arming this, and as they lose the vertical cover, it's a shield they make friends with. Approach, but there's still a lot of structural work to be done on the site, and that is being done now. Remember last time? Ow. That happened with about 20 seconds left, if that. They were full sprinting at the site to try and get it open. It might be the same if they can't quite get reloading the removal of the utility on the wall, playing the long angle. That's them a slight reward, but now the coverage of the smoke. Are they just going to try and send it across? They are, but ooh, missed the final angle. Skies. That little bit of duck hunt. Doesn't quite get the second though. A 4 versus nobody. Virtus.pro. They had the support structure in place. So
Just hold crosses and put Gen.G in a very tricky position. Again, they will start to go for that top-down clear, and Joystick opens up the floor and finds.
And that's this. In towards server. The extension waiting to try and buy, well, at least another bit of time on the hatch itself. They're not watching out for that though. Already 3 swing rounds. Now those players are isolated. They're having to go over the table and hop. There's one left alone in server themselves. MACKO has to win this engagement. Does. Looks for the second. Either side of the wall itself. Cleverly played, and the grenade will force them further and further away. Gets them into a slightly fresh angle with the pistol. Dropped though! As another falls on the site. Virtus.pro have just turned it on.
Players over towards server. Hatch being opened up kind of segmented those players from one another. Guys who are stuck in server as they switch over to their attacks.
Well, I said it was the opposite. I was wrong because I forgot that. Well, you might have to just carry on the end of this as. Oh, no, I'm back. Don't worry. There's a moment, and there is a moment. Skies sprays on, gets 1. Oh, gets a second. Gifted on the quad wall. They thought they knew where they were. Joystick at least finds the end, but it's a 2 versus 1 versus 4, and he's sat at a grenade. Great. Gen.G, no, time and time again. They can only play the game that is ahead of them at this point. They have everything to try and slow it down, but Joystick. Oh, just gets into the right ratty. Too far, one's not gone far enough. Threaded the smoky needle, and now, what a devastating moment. I have no idea how Azox was able to hold his breath throughout that, but with the hatch control and a 4 versus 4 with 30 seconds, they have to go for a retake. But look at this watch. Skies chooses his moment, gets one. Cannot get this to men on the second, but they are going to get the pickup during it. However, a nobody versus 3, because they did get a team on the roof. They're really trying to find that first route in. There's more coverage. Reveal of the drone. There's one for NACO. Pulls back. Gets hit by an echo drone in the same second, but as Skies finds Dan, it's Joystick that needs to activate. This is the first. But as the second reveals themselves, as well aware. And it's a flawless for Gen.G to pull themselves into the lead. Sat watching. Nowhere to go but drop down there. And now with the kit covered in 10 seconds, it's just got to be a full send. They pull back. The echo drone is reading all of this towards them. There's always now also on the ground alongside Joystick. It's a 2 versus 1. And I mean, all the way to the limit, but I think it was more than likely the chance to pull this one in. They're about to have a fight on the CEO desk as Dan takes a lot of damage, but Pasha had the crossfire there, waiting, baited for them to slip their way in, but as they drop their way down, there's still damage done to the pair of them on the top floor. Dan even more so, but he finds NACO in the meantime, and he will also hit the hatch. And
he could very easily die, but we'll see how this goes. Little hole, Dan gets caught out, never mind. Asa has also trapped somebody inside the castle barricade, but more holes being drilled, which are now working against Gen.G. Oh my word, what's going on? Gen.G, another one! Jesus, Maverick on these kills, they should be dead!
They have just gotten 3 kills from 2 holes on a Maverick wall, on quad wall. And now the power is in their favor. It's Joystick and Shepard left. They still have Azox above. They're going to go for the blinds and the cover. It's a Ward more than happy to watch the hatch, but they're not really coming from that route. So there's the watch over the top. Shepard gets chewed up, but Joystick's the first one spat out and can't stop the plant. That is
Are they going to get through that?
It's a 5 versus 5 with less than 30 seconds left. Demo, I think we're about to be off to the races, so let's get a trotting always. Gets the first there and removes Skies. There's the swing for Pasha on the second. Wants to try and find a third. Does. It's a 5-2. Suddenly things have entirely fallen away. Demo, I know it's a Tim and Des saying, we're going to overtime. These 2 kills and get their way down, but then you still got a Tachanka to deal with. You still got the pressures of the site, so these 2 holding on to server has been absolutely massive. It's about to come down to a bloody swing at the top of the stairs that Dan wins out, but it's go, 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 go. You gotta get going. There's the drop on the fire, 10 seconds, and that's the man with the kit. He's not even in range, no! Run! Can he even make it? He's got to sprint as fast as he can go. 2 seconds and he gets there to hold F, but it's a 2 versus 2. Dan has all the cover that he has to land, and Sky somehow gets the fade away in the smoke. Always hits the ground. And they can wait, take a breath, and reveal that the player is down. And that is a Gen.G round.
GG, Max.
Oh my. Skies again. This guy is absolutely
revealed to be Joystick. What do you do here? Do you keep on with the back take? Do you full send it? You've got to, because you've already dedicated this much time and utility, and at this point you won't be able to rotate your way back round. There's the ping, the reveal of the hatch itself. They're going to try and throw down something to obscure the motion, but Asa wins out the first, and Pasha knocks them right back in, but the shield is down, as is the kit, and as is always now hits the ground, but it's a bite through. Every hatch hit and 2 left inside gold. Where do they go? Right into his shield as Dan's able to win it out, but there's the trade, and they're going for the plant itself. There it is, Gen.G! Take us to our map 3, the first time we've...
4 maps watched.
4 maps watched, sorry.
Oh, there have been
4
overtime.
overtimes.
4
Yeah.
overtimes. And I think you said it best. I think it was a ballsy move, and I think they transformed it. And one thing I want to praise, when you look at the screen once again, you look at an
joy throughout the regular stage, and like we mentioned before, there wasn't a massive amount of that, but it's a map that I think that they enjoy. It's map free. Now obviously for Gen.G.
Coming around to support the player and didn't want to full send. In case they found themselves suddenly stuck. Deadshot just gifted that fight. You know, they thought he might be on the other side of it. That's why they opened it. But Deadshot just held it. Got the free pick onto Always. And now, do they know about Asta? No is the answer. There's a second. They're going to C4 into the bathroom. Does it get shot out? And there's the trade from Pasha, but it's picked back up from the top of the main stairs. The cover of the smoke works in their favor. Deadshot caught out, though. They should be able to get the pick back up on the player, but nowhere near.
Top red wall will remain intact, which is great for that smoke who can just sit there, toss out the toxic babes as they come. Pasha, though, has been able to kill the smoke. What's happened?
Pasha's just thrown himself in. Shepard's going to go for the plant with the cover. Pasha's top red. That's the position. And then traded out by Virtus.pro at the end there anyway. Pro just might run out of time here.
It's slowly ticking away, but I think if they start getting the kills in, you know, VP fashion where they just appear with 5 kills in the blink of an eye, and who knows? I mean, Always has been down, but still can get picked up. And the question is, do they have any Goyo canisters placed for kitchen drop? I don't think that they do. So really a C4 is gonna have to be the win con here for Gen.G.
15 seconds, and there goes Pasha. Dan almost follows suit, but the kit needs to be the one that makes its way down. It's just a blitz screaming its way through towards the default. Gets Deadshot, but they've covered the door. Dan with a team kill, Dan with another team kill, and it's the fire on Moto door demo. They didn't need
canisters, hacking Evil Eyes where they can. And still a minute left. I don't think VP will be going for a jump in just yet. And that all-important opening pick has went in the favor of VP. Down goes the castle.
Now, with 40 seconds and the eyes on the potential proverbial prize, flashes and pressure on towards the back, but Dan threat onto Azox. Now the Clash steps their way in, close for the fight. The shield is off. They know the window will be watched. There's somebody underneath as well. There's one, there's two! Almost saw a teammate, and what a swing round. Did not expect that from the Clash. Now, how do you rebuild? Joystick gets one, but they're underneath. They can't get their way back up in time. They still need to put the pressure on the Clash. The Sledge smashing their way closer and closer with the electricity. It does nothing. Now the Bravo more concerned about the chance of somebody swinging with a gun up, but they're running out of time. They came off and they still won it, Demo.
The player planting. Then VP have to scramble. The taser effect from the Clash was slowing them down so much. They then took...
I was like, how's he netted that one there? And we saw him use all of the stuns, and the only thing I could think of... Oh! Dan dropped by MACKO, who then saw a Blackbeard and decided it's not worth the waste of bullets to just fire them towards them, but now we get to make their next approach. Had a premonition and tried to get the body on the end of it, but again, 40 seconds, Demo. We enter that narrow time of Joystick finding the flanker. Deadshot tried to come his way up the main stairs, got dropped. Now they have a man advantage, 30 seconds. You can see Asta's trying to step himself in and almost got Joystick for it. Did a lot of damage, took a bit less. They're being, I mean, it's super aggressive. The ADS is coming his way as well. Tries to melee the shield, but the pre-fire comes against them. Hits the side of it. 13 seconds. Has to charge their way all the way to the... Okay. That's an option. You're buying time. But now it's a 3 versus 2. They still have to get the plant, and they have this angle. Skies with the cross blinded. No kit. They have to send it for kills, and they just hide.
Oh, Joystick takes a lot of damage, but... MACKO's done a great job of just wasting time here. If he finds another pick, it would be incredible, but he is just trapped, and Joystick playing really well with a flash there, just waiting for his moment.
Towards the back, they're going to see if they can try and get a plant potentially with the shield on their back. It's full trust in the cover, and the cover needs to be spot on, and oh, it's a decent job. Look at Joystick's health, though. Good, a bullet away. But Virtus.pro make that one land. There goes Joystick, but it's a 3 versus 1. Yeah, they had to push that one out the head. Again, though, final 10 seconds.
Oh, the explosive pipe. Who needs to back away, and Asta just barely gets out of the radius. The pickup will be successful. That's going to be 2 players, though, off-site towards main stairs. And now VP can just turn their attention to everyone else upstairs. Gen.G.
Burn of everything underneath. They have at least one loose player, one loose fragment on the back of the desk. They're going to try and force out as they do. Pull themselves back in, but ooh, you can't. Glasses won't stop that. And there it is, a 5 versus 2. Azox and Deadshot, all that's holding on to the rest of this round. There's Deadshot for 1. There's Joystick trading it right back for his 3rd of the round. Make it another demo.
I think tried to lean in with their lineup where they wanted to play pretty heavy denial with C4s. Put them in a really bad position because those 2 players had to be really careful based on their HP. Both of them were down to about 28. Blackbeard, that all-important shield operator, and speaking of, just bashes his way in through Catwalk. Pasha's still up there, by the way. Pasha is challenging him in towards Catwalk, able to get the Blackbeard, but does get traded off. Don't know if that trade's too favorable, though.
MACKO on the door, ready and raring to sort of swing their way around. 12 seconds, becomes 10, becomes the red numbers, and there's a Goyo canister. We have seen this before. Will we see it again? Great drop on towards the A case, and that's Shepard down. Gonna go for the plant itself. They're trying to find the angle, but it's covered. Joystick gets 1, but it's a post-plant situation. Cannot find the last bullet, but they find it right back. Who else but Skies?
Which is what he's going to do right now.
Well, tried to get an angle on towards Shower, but they've gone. They've pulled back with Virtus.pro. They're reassessing. Now there is the punch on the back. That's the worry, but Joystick drives in, gets traded out, and they're going to make sure that they can try and get the close down on CC, but I think Shepard just won that fight out. That surrounds a Blackbeard, and that surrounds... Blackbeard, that surrounds the pressure onto Azox. Blackbeard in the bathroom, waiting, and Azox does win out against Always from the window. 2 versus 3. If they can try and find 1 more kill from the mix of it, they're going to lean on towards the clash. They can see the shield, but oh, just went for it. A few too far. And unfortunately, the divide proved unpassable. All on the BP at this point. They're going to try and move either side of the fight itself. The kit's recollected. Has a Zagu mine in the foot. And that is the cleanup for Virtus.pro. Keep themselves 2 steps ahead.
Have to command them with the Goyo canisters because they've got plenty of them, so there really should not be an excuse for them to not destroy that bit of util. But what is that? Pasha just drops in through corner hatch and gets annihilated.
On towards main. That's the lineup practiced in place. The Skies takes a bit of damage. Another just root in on main though, and MACKO gets Dan. Gets the kill. The C4's too late, and hey, here's that dirt you called for. 2 bodies inside, but also they outnumber them 5-3, so they have the expendables to put here. The Blackbeard pops the grenades, removes any player from AK, so now they have them forced off, so they can go for the plant. It's dropped down on the hatch, and that's what's going to be cemented. They've made a back line, and they've just tried to walk right across it. MACKO gets an easy pickup. There's a flawless demo. Perfect.
Yeah, that's what more defenders, I think, to want to play in positions like AK in towards 3rd box whenever teams are just bringing heaps of util, you know, because a lot of those positions are static positions. You have to do things very easy. Oh, Deadshot, you've just seen 2 people. You could have killed the Azami, but you've got off of it. Oh, Deadshot. Kill that goes begging, but Shepard still takes a lot of damage though from elsewhere. Oh, Deadshot, no, he goes down. Shepard finally gets killed, and look at this, Dan aggressively going in with a 9mm, but he loses as well. What is going on? Fast and Furious trades, another one. Oh, Joystick on main stairs, roamer after roamer after roamer. Just such a headache.
Right, as soon as contact happens, there'll be pressure from the other side of you as well. Throws it in deep. But there it is, the first court. Pasha gone, 20 seconds, new angle, new ideas, new rotation as well. They hopped through, but it wasn't heard. So now Azox doesn't know that they've moved their way on. He's watching and waiting for ghosts at this point. Caught out by Joystick. It's a 2 versus 1. Skies, legendary moments before. Can't get another one. Virtus.pro. Breached. There's a rotate. They know about the lurk. They had it well watched. You could see multiple Gen.G players turn to face it. Virtus.pro finally find their first and try to find a second Joystick. But instead pulls himself back. 40 seconds left. There's Joystick for another. He's back to the window and he takes a lot of damage for it. The smoke cover, but they're going for the plant. Cemented on the other side of the bomb shaft. He just threw himself into the open gunfire at that point because what else could he do? Fortunately, without the rotate, Shepard really had nowhere else he could go. They know exactly where the plant is, but they know exactly where Shepard's ins and outs of this map are, and look how far back they've pulled themselves. Yeah, no real pulling that one back. That's one.
I think Dan is either going to be the hero or the zero.
Oh, they have a bulletproof. They've made it into a little fort, but nothing.
Simply drop in through the kitchen hatch and go for the plant. So I'm a little bit cautious here that the diffuser isn't in the right hands right now. I mean, Skies is in, but where's the diffuser?
Yep, that's entirely. I'm with you. At this point, Skies is driving his way through. They're in dirt, but what's going on? Fighting a shield in dirt. At this point, Shepard's down. Always all that's left, but he's dropped. Demo once again. We're going to.
Don't tell me they're going to go quick. I mean, Azok's is smoking things off, and here he goes. The smoke canister will try and bat him back, but Azok just staring them right in the face. The pistol comes out, but VP respond with 2. Yes, they've lost 1. They've lost that top red player, but look how quickly Pasha rotates and retakes that position. The attempted rush has fell flat on its face.
Well, they tried to sneak their way in from behind, but they had the watch. It's a 3 versus 3. There's a shotgun outside. There's 1. There's 2 and a bit. Oh no, impossible. There's the flash. 19 seconds and the break on the barbed wire, but there's another set at the top as well. MACKO goes for the call. They just take the damage all the way up and all the way back out. They're watched perfectly either side. Shepard gets 1. There's almost a light up there, but there is another for Virtus.pro. They get their celebrating their way up red here. They're still struggling with a Hibana trick, and oh, it was scrappy, but there goes the current top player for Gen.G.
Oh, this is tense. Every engagement, you just don't know where it's going to go. Skies, oh, just barely gets out of garage. Into oil pit is where he drops, and Joystick's actually hunting him. Look, Joystick's opened up the hatch. He's after this castle, and looks as though Sky will be pinched. VP, like hounds, vicious on that approach to target that player who was caught out of position. Now VP are just turning up the heat. And Gen.G are getting burned at minute 15 to try and hold out with 2 players left. I mean, they're not even in the bomb site. Trying to hold on to cash, for goodness sake. VP can just take all the time in the world and see this over the line.
As that castle gets opened and always wins another, it is just Deadshot left, finds 1, but now they know where he is and somebody's on the way to the site. They're just going to end it here. Virtus.pro.
That's where VP were better, and that comes down to experience. That comes down to nerves. That comes down to just overall, I don't know, experience is the word. I'm going to say it twice.
But then again, obviously, when we're looking at those player reaction cameras, you can see how much it means to them and how tiring this series was as well. You know, the first player is taking off their headset, just a deep sigh coming in there.
Yeah. Anticipate, I guess, and Gen.G to be such a strong opponent. I will say this again, it seemed like Gen.G fit really well against the playstyle of VP. I think they knew what they were doing really well, well predicted. Overall, what a great matchup.
I would just like to give very big props to our MVP there, Joystick. 114 on the EPS. I thought particularly over maps 2 and 3, Bank and Clubhouse, Joystick was the one who was trying to be a little bit different. It's very
look
easy.
at those entry kills for that, by the way.
It's very easy to script what VP are going to do, and I think when you rely...
For right now, we speak to the winners of this game. We have Pasha on the line to ask him a few questions. Good evening, Pasha. That was a very long game. I think just over 4 hours. Congratulations on the victory. How are you feeling
after
this?
Much. I'm feeling so bad. Like, I'm super tired. This game was so hard. Gen.G actually did very good. I literally couldn't like outgun anyone. Joystick was so prime today as well. He did a lot of on Clubhouse, honestly. Literally won us it like alone. Joystick is the MVP, truly the GOAT, truly the cyborg. Joystick is the one. He's him, basically.
Nice, Pasha. I've got to bring you back to the maps on the map veto. Was picking Bank into you expected? Because I would say you're a very, very good team at Bank.
That's a wrong opinion at first. But like we expected it after they banned Cafe Chalet. we thought it's a bait for us to pick Bank, but we didn't really catch it. We picked Border, and it was kind of impressive that they picked Bank, but since we're like kind of struggling it, they basically picked a good map, good choice. So Bank is the hard map nowadays. A lot of good bans, like operators, I mean. So you can really play it the same way you played it like 1 year ago, so it's very hard.
Pasha, you just mentioned how tiring that game was. I need to ask you, you're about to enter a new BO3 against Falcons. How is that going to impact the game?
I don't know, we're gonna be playing that like 7-0, 7-0 reverse sweep, or I mean, just a sweep. So bye-bye, everyone.
So you're just trying to make it quick, basically.
I don't care, honestly. We make it to EWC, I don't care.
There's still SI points on the line, given that this match might still be...
but we're so tired. The game was so hard, so a lot of struggles. So I just don't know. We're just gonna play,
lose.
But we don't care, basically. We make it to EWC, the goal accepted, the goal achieved.
One more thing that we're really curious about before we let you go is there's about half an hour between this game and the next. What are you and the team gonna do to mentally reset yourself for the next game coming up?
We're gonna eat and smoke.
That's nice. Well, enjoy your food then, and thank you so much for your time. Best of luck for the best of 3
Thank you.